Now, Omid Scobie posted a tweet 18 hours ago, and here is what he said, and I quote, "Journalist does not renew a contract. Headlines, gossip, lies, drama, nonsense. And yet, a journalist accused of sexual assault, blackmail, harassment, silence from the UK tabloid press, who clearly are so afraid of Dan Wooton, because Dan Wooton must have so much dirt on the Murdoch and Rothmere-owned tabloid press, such that they are not, reporting about all these serious criminal allegations against sad little man Dan Wooton. But yet, when Omid Scobie does not renew a contract, you have headlines, gossip, lies created and spread about him. But Dan Wooton, silence. My family, now new revelations have come out about Dan Wooton. And this time, Dan Wooton's ex-boyfriend, Alex Truby, has spoken directly to Byline Times about what Dan Wooton has done, my family. And here is what was said. Alex Truby's truth. How Murdoch made Dan Wooton into a monster. My family, here is what has been said. All Alex Truby wanted to find was the washing powder. Instead, he says he found the key to a scandal now rocking the tabloid media. Alex Truby is the former partner of GB News' biggest ratings puller, Dan Wooton, the New Zealand journalist who has made a career out of invading private lives and passing public judgment for big bucks, big money. From Prince Harry and Meghan to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, from Philip Schofield to pop star Duncan James and the late tragic Caroline Flack. Wooton was Rupert Murdoch's celebrity attack dog for more than a decade, reports Byline Times. And so, when instead of cleaning his clothes one fateful day in 2012, Mr. Truby happened, he says, upon Wooton's own dirty laundry. His conscience simply would not let him take the easy path of turning a blind eye, as many others have done since. In his first ever interview, Mr. Alex Truby, gently spoken and determined, with a pronounced sense of fair play, speaks about the events that led to Byline Times' special 3-year investigation being published last month. Byline Times reports have exposed Dan Wooton as a serial sexual catfisher, blackmailer, and a prolific workplace bully, all of which sad little man denies hypocritically, because everyone knows that somehow Dan Wooton, Piers Morgan, they make their names off of bullying and abusing women. Others, that's how they make and create a name for themselves in the UK, by bullying others. So my family, honestly, just seeing Dan Wooton lying that he isn't a bully, my family, honestly, is too much. Utter hypocrisy. Now, Byline Times has asked Dan Wooton's representatives on numerous occasions to confirm or deny whether Dan Wooton is or is connected to Martin Branning, but it has received no response. But for Alex Truby, it all began behind the big double doors of the laundry cupboard in Dan Wooton's former one-bedroom flat on Lehman Street in London's sought-after E1 postcode. And he made a cat-sitting discovery. Here is what was said, and I quote, "I was cat-sitting for Dan while he was on holiday in New Zealand." Mr. Alex Truby explains, "One day, I was doing some laundry. I was looking for the dosing ball for the washing up powder and put my hand down the side of the washing machine. And there was a hold all rammed down there. Intrigued and suspicious, Mr. Truby says he pulled at the black nylon and found the bag zipped and secured. He says, and I quote, "I could tell it had stuff in it. It wasn't just an unused sports bag or something. And my immediate reaction was that it was hiding something. And so I pulled it out completely and found there was a little travel padlock where the holes in the zips met. And so I thought, okay, this is weird. And because it was a flexible bag, I crumpled it to get the zip open wide enough to get my hand fully inside, and I began pulling stuff out. Among other personal items, Mr. Truby says he found computer storage drives. There were also 2 external hard drives, he says, and I was very interested in those. I plugged one in, and there was one file I was drawn to because I recognized the name as someone who was a friend of Dan's. I began to dig into this one folder, and there was a video and a text file, which I opened first. It was the transcripts of an MSN Messenger conversation between 2 people. One was Martin Branning, whose name I'd never heard before, and the other was the boyfriend of the person whose name was on the file. The transcript was between the boyfriend and Martin Branning. Branning was introducing himself as someone who was interested in making some sexual content. The transcript was essentially persuading the boyfriend to make this video without the consent of his partner, if necessary. He adds, and I quote, "The video file was exactly what I expected based on the transcripts. It was a wide shot of a bed from a camera put up high in order, I immediately thought, for it not to be seen. It was one of the 2 people having sex. And I took it from the video that Wooton's target had no knowledge or consent of that being made at all." At that time, Mr. Truby had been in a relationship with Dan Wooton on and off for about 3 years. He says he was stunned by the discovery. He says, and I quote, "I had always known Dan was obsessive about this person, and I had never found it to be healthy. And I had never found it healthy," he says. And my family, we speak so much about the obsession even that tabloids, role experts have towards Meghan, in particular, my family, and towards Harry. My family, it is sickening to see what we have seen. That level of disgusting fixation, obsession. I have seen grown men go on TV crying, saying this: Meghan stole our prince. Meghan stole our prince. I've seen grown men doing that on TV. And it has never ever stopped. I mean, I'm like, when you fall in love, are you not supposed to take care of your loved ones like what Harry has done? Are you not supposed to live with your life, live with your wife, your children? Are you not supposed to do that, my family? That's what you're supposed to do. And that's what Harry and Meghan have done. But yet, full-grown men who have been exploiting Harry all of his life, who then exploited Meghan, my family, are complaining, Meghan stole our prince, Meghan stole our prince. Because the prince who sold papers fled the UK and took his wife and kids with him. And to this day, they are bitter. My family, I spoke about how much is expected from Harry and Meghan. Much. Let's say they've signed a deal with Netflix, Spotify. The tabloid media in the UK expect content from Harry and Meghan tomorrow. Not tomorrow, right this moment. That's what they expect, my family, because they want something to talk about. Much is expected from people who don't even live in the UK, people who don't earn a penny of taxpayer money. Much is expected from Harry and Meghan, but nothing is ever expected from Prince William and King Wooton. I mean, William had that so-called homelessness project. He says it will be his lifelong project. Have you seen the media banging Prince William? William, what have you done to this moment to solve homelessness? You haven't seen them doing that. But for Harry and Meghan, who don't earn a penny of taxpayer money, who tell the media or taxpayers in the UK don't pay to fund Harry and Meghan's security, are demanding Harry and Meghan, release anything, content, so that they can be able to feed on that content, my family. Because clearly, the royals back in the UK are just so boring. They can't maintain the attention of the bigoted UK tabloid press, my family. That they expect the sun, the moon, and the stars from Harry and Meghan. But when it comes to William and King Wooton, the heir to the throne, my family, Prince William, nothing. My family, the guy is always on vacations. Always. But you don't see the media focus on him. However, you will see GB propaganda have segments. They post on Twitter trashing Harry and Meghan on a daily basis because it gets them views and clicks. It makes them so much money. The family, it is just so bad, really. It's so bad. They have taxpayer-funded members of the royal family, whom they say are popular, relevant, but yet the main focus is on attacking Harry and Meghan to prop up William and King Wooton. My family. And as Tony Morrison said, that if you can only stand when someone else is on their knees, you have a very, very serious problem. And William, Kate, tabloids, royal experts have very, very serious problems, my family. Because somehow they think that by abusing Harry and Meghan, they are propping up William and Hamilton. They are not. They are making people with basic common sense see exactly what is happening. And people are not happy. And they're calling it out. Online, on Twitter, they're calling it out what is happening. People are not happy. My family, people are not happy. And this sick obsession that tabloids have towards Meghan and Harry, it's sickening. You know, it's sickening. It's not healthy. It's unhealthy, my family. And if you look at their history, the sad thing is Harry and Meghan were not the first ones that tabloids have had this sick obsession with, my family. As you can basically hear from what Alex Truby is saying to Valentine, my family, Dan Wooton was obsessive towards someone else, you know, about someone else, my family, and that he found that obsession unhealthy. Same as Piers Morgan also, with his obsession with Meghan. Meghan was not the first one that Piers Morgan was obsessed with. He was obsessed with Harry's mother. Then Harry. Then Harry's wife. It's a sickness. It's a sickness, my family. You know, based on what we have had in court. It's a sickness, my family. Based on even what Major James Hewitt said about Piers Morgan, of how he had become vindictive because of, or Piers Morgan had become vindictive because of Major James Hewitt's relationship with Diana. Same thing has happened right now with Harry and Meghan. Piers Morgan has a fixation that is basically vindictive towards Meghan and also towards Harry. And what did they do? What did they do, my family? They just fell in love. And he complains that Meghan, a woman he says, claims that he met once, did not call him back. That's coming from a married man. I'm telling you, my family, over this past 7 years, we have seen a level of disgusting obsession from UK media towards Harry and Meghan. And my family, it needs to be called out and it needs to stop. My family, also kindly hear this, what Alex Truby told Valentine's, and I quote, "My immediate gut reaction was that Martin Branning did not exist. It did not make sense. How could it have come into Dan's possession? And I knew that Dan was already obsessive about the target. I knew Dan was Martin Branning and that he had manipulated the partner into making the video. I felt sick to my stomach. Dan was my boyfriend. I was horrified. And when Dan came back to the UK, I confronted him about it. He did not even try to deny it. I said to him, Martin Branning does not exist. It's you. And he fell on his knees and said, I'm sorry. I'm really F-word up. Dan, you truly are. You truly are. And he says, I can't help it. It was him. He did it. And from that day, I have known 100% that Martin Branning does not exist. He is just a name. And an MSN account, an email that Dan has been using to fix stuff for himself. The revelation marked the beginning of the end of a relationship that lived on for one other year, but never recovered from what Mr. Truby regards as a terrible betrayal, both of those in the film and himself. I stayed with him because Dan emotionally blackmailed me all the time. Dan emotionally blackmailed me all the time, he explains. Whenever I tried to leave, he would say I was deserting him at a time of crisis. He controlled me. He watched and monitored me. I caught him accessing my emails and snooping on my social media. I feared him. My family. Alex Truby also says that it wasn't always this way. It wasn't always this way. When Alex Truby first met Dan Wooton, 3 years his junior, as a fresh-faced 23-year-old in London, they quickly became friends. Wooton was still a journalistic greenhorn, arrived from New Zealand and working for the TV industry magazine broadcast. Mr. Truby was still embarking on his own career. Everything was possible for them, and they became close friends. But after a couple of years, knowing each other platonically, and as Truby's relationship with the man he describes as, at that time, the love of my life went into trouble, he says Dan Wooton began to pressure him for more. I thought Dan was my best mate, he says, but he put me under so much pressure to move things forward with him. I was asking for time and space, but I got ultimatums. I was put in a position. He said, we either get together or I'm gone from your life completely. I was vulnerable. I had just lost what I thought was the love of my life. And suddenly, I was going to lose my best mate too. I did not even have time to grieve the relationship. I just found myself tumbling into this relationship with Dan. And Mr. Truby says the change in Dan Wooton came once he left broadcast in 2007 to work for Rupert Murdoch's most feared tabloid. The now defunct News of the World was profound. When I first met him, the biggest stories he did were about who picked up TV rights for this or that show. He says it was very different to the News of the World. But working for Murdoch, that environment, which was very ruthless, very cutthroat, very competitive for the biggest stories, changed him. It enabled the worst parts of him and amplified them. My family. Rupert Murdoch is extremely not a good person, my family. As Harry said, he is evil. Just as Harry said in his memoir, Spare. Alex says that Dan Wooton was so driven by the pressure there that after a while, it was everything. He became one of their biggest ever performers, getting all the splashes, front pages. Would get very angry if he ever felt screwed over on a story. He would make moves against colleagues to stop them from sharing bylines with him. If he ever had to share credit for a story, he would not like it. He got mad about it. He was very, very, very focused on getting his name on the front page of the News of the World, week after week, as many times as he could possibly get it on there. And his bosses loved him for that and also gave him a reward for it. The toxicity All that paper, which everyone knows about now, it has shut down. Probably did push him into employing bad tactics. But I think by nature, you're either capable of that kind of level of ruthlessness or not. Something came together there. There was pressure, and because of his ambition, he was capable of it. And Wooton's growing power as the then most read paper in the English-speaking world led to practices which Mr. Truby now regards as potentially corrupt, and which gave Dan Wooton the financial power to further his own interests. Dan had the news of the world pay money to my bank account as a source, an absolute minimum of 10 times, he says. So Dan Wooton put his boyfriend, his name, as a source for the news of the world, whereby his boyfriend would get money. My family, that's what he did. And he says this, that Dan Wooton told him that it was for his actual sources, and I knew his boss knew who I was. So I did not question it too much. It was never life-changing sums, always hundreds, not thousands, but still being big lumps, my family. Hundreds, not thousands. That way, my family, it can't get flagged as an irregularity, my family. Hundreds, not thousands. So it doesn't get flagged. So my family, basically, what is being said here is that Sir Little Man Dan Wooton allegedly was stealing from Rupert Murdoch himself. Whoa. My family. As the thing goes, there is no loyalty among thieves. My family, allow me to just kindly continue. Alex Truby says this also. I did not really understand his world. I just thought it was normal, one normal thing to do for reporters to do sometimes in order to protect people's confidences. I would give the money to him, and I don't know what happened to it after that. He had other friends who do it for him too. Whoa. And that way, you get the most amounts of money from different places. Whoa, my family. So Dan Wooton was readily stealing from Rupert Murdoch himself. Whoa. There is no loyalty among thieves. Now, my family, here is what Alex also said kindly. When News of the World shut down in disgrace in 2011 amid the phone hacking scandal, Wooton moved first to the Daily Mail as an editor-at-large before going back to the Murdoch fold with the Sun titles. He eventually moved on from the Sun in 2021 after falling out with editor Victoria Newton and found himself at GB News, where Mr. Truby says he turned his back on a long background of left-leaning personal politics. When I knew him, his politics was center to center-left. He says he was always so proud that one of his first breaks was interviewing Helen Clark when she was a Labour Prime Minister in New Zealand. Dan comes from a family of liberal people. His family are educators. When I knew him, his politics were the same as theirs. I never got an inkling from him that he would ever align himself with the hard right. I think he is faking it on GB News for the money and because he banned so many bridges in the mainstream media. And Mr. Truby looks back with regrets on the 4 years from 2009 to 2013 he spent with Dan Wooton. Alex Truby told Byline Times also that, and I quote, "I wish I'd been braver. I wish I'd walked away sooner. I wish I hadn't given him so much of what should have been an amazing part of my life. However, I did. And I'm over it. I'm not here for some kind of personal revenge against Dan Wooton or for how I was mistreated. I'm not that kind of person. The powerful platform that Dan Wooton enjoys with GB News allowed the presenter to launch a live on-air attack after the first part of this Byline Times investigation was published on Byline Times. His journalist and the others, he alleges, erroneously are part of a hard-left campaign to have the channel cancelled. Mr. Truby, who had already written about the Hold On revelations in a viral Twitter thread, was attacked by his former partner as abusive live on air, with Wooton making strong allegations that Alex Truby had previously threatened him with violence. And speaking to Byline Times, Mr. Truby candidly addressed Wooton's accusations. He said this, and I quote, "To try and paint me as abusive is abusive in itself." He says it was an extension of his behavior when we were together. I know I am no abuser, and I'm square with that. I still share a dog with my most recent ex. I am close friends with the two before that. I'm in a very happy and supportive relationship now. On the alleged threat of violence, Mr. Truby says, on more than one occasion, Dan targeted my friends online, and knowing what I did about Matthew and Branning, I was scared of what Dan would do. Something did happen not long after TV presenter Caroline Flack had died around February of 2020. I saw Dan crying what I thought were crocodile tears about Caroline. It galled me. And so I tweeted briefly about the Hold On discovery. I removed the posts after about 8 hours. I'd had a call from a mutual contact who put pressure on me on Dan's behalf. Later, Dan's lawyers began following me on social media. It felt intentional to silence me with legal threats. At the exact same time, Dan went after someone very close to me. It felt predatory and intentional. I did not see any choice but to act. And yes, I sent him a message, and yes, I told him to stay the F away from my friends, F word away from my friends. And in the heat of that moment, I used strong words, but just words. I am not a violent person. Mr. Truby is still bruised by Wooton's on-air verbal assault. When I saw it, I felt sick. He says, it was scary. I knew that he was going to hit back at me for speaking out. That's in character with the man I know. But to try and call me an abuser live on TV when I could find 100 character references to the contrary, that I did not see coming. And I still can't believe his bosses allowed it to happen. It's deranged. And yet, despite the deeply personal ad hominem abuse, a national paper allowed Dan Wooton to bring down on his former partner Alex Truby is keeping calm and committed to his truth. I'm hoping this story goes somewhere, he says. I'm hoping the right people look at what has gone on, and the people learn the truth. And that is it. My family, byline times special investigation. Alex Truby, Dan's ex-boyfriend, has spoken up. My family. My family, now take me to talk about what we have just learned about what Dan Wooton has done. My family. This person, he's brave to speak up. My family. Brave, brave, brave to speak up. And I'm happy that they've been able to speak up. I'm happy about it so much, my family. Now, my family, I want to hear your thoughts about what has been said kindly about Dan Wooton. I'd like to please kindly hear your opinion on that, please, my family. And my family, sadly, this person has been bullying so many people for a long time, my family. And it's high time that it stops. It's high time that it ends, my family. You know? And we must keep condemning and calling out Dan Wooton for what he has done. And demand other media outlets report about what Dan Wooton has done. My family, with that and so much more, stay tuned on next video. God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, Rupert, and Tori Raglan, and all of you members of the squad at home. He never wins, love wins, and stay tuned to our next video, my family. People who are bullying and abusing Harry and Meghan, my family, they are going down one by one. There are people who are bankrupt of any morals, at the same time, saying that Harry and Meghan are not good people. My family, utter hypocrisy. Harry and Meghan are good. People like Dan Wooton, my family, are not. And that is the fact. And people who Dan supports also are not good. People like Prince William and Kim Wooton, because he abuses Harry and Meghan to uplift William and Kim Wooton, my family. My family, people like that also are just not good people. And that's what I wanted to say kindly. Now I want to hear your opinion on what we've just discussed kindly. I like to hear your opinion on that, please, my family. And with that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. No weapon formed against Harry, Meghan, Archie, Rupert, and Tori Raglan shall ever prosper, my family. And I hope that Alex Truby will get justice from what Dan Wooton did to him. I hope he gets justice. And all victims of Dan Wooton get justice. That is my hope. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. He never wins, love wins, and stay tuned to our next video. Hello, members of Zesco Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Zesco Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.